You've been taught that science and engineering are the ultimate objective fields. After all, a bridge doesn't have a gender, and a heart attack is a heart attack. Seatbelts work for everyone perfectly. Listen, this isn't just a video about fairness or social trends. I'm speaking to you as an engineering professor. In my field, we are taught that a system is only as reliable as its data. But there's a massive structural glitch in the way we build the world. In this video, I'll be covering why the default male is a systemic science and engineering design failure that is quite literally putting lives at risk. For nearly a century, models have been trained on almost exclusively male subjects. This is the invisible template. It is the silent average that dictates how your seatbelt fits, how your medicine is dosed, and even how your heart attacks is diagnosed. We haven't been designing for humanity, we've been designing for a specific male physiology and assuming that the rest of the world will just fit. When you design a world for only half of the population, the other half becomes a methodological complication. And in this video, I'll explain what I mean by that. Take automotive safety. When you see a crash test dummy, you probably assume it represents the average human. But it doesn't. Since the 1970s, the standard dummy has been almost 6 feet tall and 171-pound male. This design choice has a massive internal crash effect. Because women generally have less muscle mass in the neck and upper torso and different bone density, and their bodies react differently to impact. A 2019 study from the University of Virginia found that even when wearing a seatbelt, women are 73% more likely to be seriously injured in a frontal crash. Why? Because the seatbelts and airbags are optimized for a larger, heavier torso. And HTSA data even shows female drivers are 17% more likely to be killed. This isn't about driving behavior. Men actually take more risks. It's about the hardware. Even when the female dummy introduced in 2003 in a car crash test isn't actually female. It's ironically just a 5th percentile male, roughly the size of a 12-year-old girl. It doesn't actually account for a female pelvis or chest, how it interacts with the seatbelt. So they weren't testing for women, they were testing for small men. We've been asking for a real female dummy since 1980s. We didn't get until 2003, and even then what we got was just a smaller man. If our cars aren't modeled for women, our training programs aren't either. This scaled-down male logic carries directly into the military. A study published in the Military Medicine by Oxford academic revealed a disturbing trend. Female recruits have significantly higher rates of stress fractures, especially in the pelvis femur area, compared to men. In the Israeli Defense Forces, researchers followed over 500 recruits through a 10-week anti-aircraft program and found that nearly 24% of women developed fractures compared to just 11% of men. That's more than double. Because the load of the incline, the strain progression were designed for male physiology, the system effectively overstrained the female recruits. Why? Because of equal training programs that is designed for male body. This pattern follows us into the workplace too. In healthcare, women are the majority of the frontline workers, yet the equipment doesn't fit. Research published in BMG Open found that female healthcare workers were significantly less likely to pass a respirator fit test on their first attempt compared to men. Another study found that over 53% of women reported surgical masks were oversized compared to just 28% of men. To get a seal, women over-tighten masks, leading to headaches and skin breakdown. Because N95 masks were modeled for male face shapes, women often have to over-tighten them to get a seal, and that leads to a lot of skin care problems and headaches. In firefighting, it's even more dangerous. That is called a hips problem. To fit their hips into turnout gear, women have to buy sizes so large that the necklines and sleeves become loose, creating gaps where fire, steam, and chemicals can enter. So this isn't just about cosmetic issue. This is a very risky situation. These are some examples of engineering designs, and let me tell you a little bit about what's going on in the science. For 50 years, neuroscience has relied almost exclusively on male mice. The excuse that the female hormonal cycles would introduce too much noise or variability in the data. But in March 2023, researchers at Harvard Medical School used AI to track mouse behavior, and they found that female mice were actually more stable in their behavior than male mice. When we exclude female biology at the mouse level, that bias rolls forward into drug development, dosage standards, and mental health research. We aren't making science simpler, we're actually making it incomplete. Let me tell you about the Hollywood heart attack now. Our entire understanding of heart disease was built on a male norm. We've been conditioned to look for the Hollywood heart attack, crushing chest pain and arm numbness, right? But according to the Ethics and Human Research published in 2023, as recently as 2015, women made up barely a third of participants in the early stage clinical trials. They labeled male symptoms like crushing chest pain as typical, but for women, symptoms are often atypical, like extreme fatigue, nausea, or jaw pain. Because of this, a systemic review published in 2024 found women are frequently misdiagnosed and sent home and with antacids with their heart is actually failing. Another research published in 2024 found women have 30% lower odds of being prescribed statins and 40% lower odds of receiving beta blockers, not because their hearts are weaker, but because the system wasn't designed to recognize their symptoms. Engineering is about minimizing failure under real-world variability. We all agree on that. But half of the population is not variability. When we treat the male body as the default, we don't create a neutral world. We create a world where risk is unevenly distributed. And it is time to move past the reference men and start designing for the humans who actually live here. If you want to go dive deeper into the papers mentioned today, check the links in the description. I'm Dr. Deniz Marti, and we'll keep learning how we become better thinkers and build better systems for all of us. See you in the next video.